Purchasing firearms is a lot easier than most people think about. There are documented cases and movies that people actually walked into expos and other distribution areas where they simply just mingled with a random seller about how they're thinking about buying a gun, or they're thinking about buying ammunition, or just to increase their collection. And these people are willing to sell it to them, even though that they could have a criminal background, or they plan to use it in a way that can be harmful for other people. Um, the seller is not required to ask them if they have any record or any like criminal records that they should not purchase the firearm. The only thing they need to ask is if they're over 18, or show a driver's license to show that they're of age to purchase these weapons. And most of the time they purchase with cash, so any record of them purchasing it doesn't exist because they're using cash. So if someone who's insane were to practice talking to an individual, and if they fail, they can over time, practice, and by the time they actually get it right, they can actually convince someone who is sane to sell them a dangerous weapon, where that insane person could use it in a public setting like a movie theater or a school to to do harm for whatever purpose they have for that. So specifically in a school setting, parents feel that their children are no longer safe because due to the drastic increase in firearm related incidents that our country has faced, that they feel that kids are no longer safe in not only school systems but other public areas where their kids could mingle with their own classmates or other people that that are in the community. So in my discussion, I'll be discussing the 10 steps that I mentioned in my PowerPoint that Ken Trump, the president of the National School Safety and Security, that addresses that a concerned individual should look into when thinking that their districts and their community feel like there could be flaws that need to be enacted to ensure proper security and safety protocols for the kids to attend those schools will be more safe when going through their school endeavors. So this issue will be towards concerned parents or individuals interested in helping to make schools a safer environment for children as well as other people to work that can benefit from these points. The first point is that as you can always ask your child if they feel that there could be flaws in their safety protocols in their school that could jeopardize any future problems that could face the district. So questioning your child about general knowledge that a student should know, like where most exit signs are located and where to go for natural, so tornado, fire incidents, or incoming disaster like an uncontrolled individual who has firearms, or hostage situation. If the child claims that they do not receive awareness of evacuation protocols and other drills to increase protectiveness of the school, then notifying the school yourself can be very effective. The next point that he gives is identifying the various comfort levels and methods for reporting concerns that can jeopardize student academic viability. So the capable of the students' work ethics throughout the course of the year or years. Sorry. Students should feel comfortable engaging school staff members on issues. So students who are confident and represent the student body in issues pertaining to everyone will greatly increase school awareness on possible future conflicts to occur. So if you spot a student, a staff member, or even a stranger acting suspiciously towards a single or group of individuals on the school property, should report the incident to the proper authorities. For doing this may prevent a future incident to occur.
Yeah.
And then another point that he meant. Another point that he mentions is an obvious way to improve safety is to review the current structure of the facility to determine if the building can hold the population of students as well as staff members in a safe manner if an evacuation were to occur, that everyone can get out safely.
Mm-hmm.
So exits, if I could talk, um, uh, hiding areas if a potential threat were to enter the building. So again, someone who has firearms or a group of individuals who may be looking for a chance to negotiate with armed forces if they were to lead to a public facility. Um, so knowing these measures can effectively increase the response for the facility to that threat. And then another point that Ken Trump uses in his website is a concerned individual can also check to see if the school has policies and procedures written on paper pertaining to security protocols and emergency preparedness. So attending meetings and contacting board and administration personnel about the concerns that might have in written policies and procedures relating to security, crisis planning, and safety planning. If so, are they communicating clearly and regularly to students, school employees, and parents? Applying awareness sessions throughout the year, readily and presentable throughout each year of the school session, will ensure that the school as well as the community can follow proper action if something were to happen.
Yeah.
Another point that he mentions is to add to making sure that the written regulation enforcing safety protocols within the school or district. Does the school plan to add additional legislation to make protocols stronger, affecting the awareness of students' security? So, if you were to point out flaws in the protocol that could affect future or could challenge the present legislation, if if there was an incident to occur, um, if you were to point those out and fix them in a matter of time, this can prevent sanctions that could affect the district, that could affect taxpayers' money that they would need to pay to resolve the incident that did occur in the near future. So basically, you're saving money for the district that can be used towards other things to make the school more safe and more functional to the community for the students. Another point that stresses is the school district to add the knowledge to the students as well as the staff members is to hire the necessary knowledge in educating the community about the protocols placed in the school system. So hiring the most qualified security officials and safety specialists will ensure the general public that they have an understanding of the school safety.
Mm-hmm.
And then another point that he mentions in his 10-step program or lesson is staff members should teach and continuously enforce these safety measures into their students as well as others to practice them and take them seriously when time is set aside to practice them. This can only be stressed if the staff members have a repetitive and good knowledge about the safety protocols activated within their schools.
Yeah.
If the staff members cannot take it seriously, then the students can't as they can't take it seriously as well, because usually a younger student will look over or will reach out to a teacher their knowledge. So if the teacher is not as if they're not sure as to how they're teaching their program, then what makes a student feel like they're confident in practicing those protocols when the drill actually needs to happen and needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
So, and then another point that he mentions is a current trend in how we pass legislation for schools. If something happens at another school, to ignite awareness on the school community. So basically, it's a give and take situation. So if a situation happens at another school that other schools can look at or relate to, they'll pass the necessary regulation and necessities to prevent that incident to happen. So Ken Trump uses the Columbine High School example. After that incident, that sparked what the future needs to come. So all these new strict regulations, cameras, metal detectors, all these new more strict regulations were enacted after the Columbine incident. Um, so so these new regulations placed into these schools were evaluated and placed into categories as to how well the school responds to danger.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap up all these points, this last point that Ken Trump addresses is that it all comes down to the parents. Parents need to communicate with how their school responds to these incidents surrounding their community, how their community can talk to each other, know everyone that lives within uh, driving or even like walking or driving um, time from the school. So if someone were to have mental problems 4 blocks down and they know that the mom might have firearms, or if something were to happen, they can respond in an effective manner that can protect everyone else who attends that school in the community.
Oh, yes.
So in doing this, we'll follow a smoother and safe year session for students when attending school. If you yourself were to volunteer to attend programs, to attend meetings, to, like I said, to ensure that your child is safe as well as other students. So to conclude this, as natural born citizens, we obviously, it's the Second Amendment. We have the right to bear arms. We have the right to protect ourselves. If we were to come into conflict with someone who's trying to take something of ours or to harm us or just our family or close people that you're near. But in our current society, we are. It's harder to conceal the weapons in a respected manner when the general public is not at the right state of mind when they see someone walking down the street holding a firearm on the side on their belt. The very sight of a gun will emits chaos anywhere you go, especially like I said, in dense populated areas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to telling yourself that you can mentally and physically be well enough that you can feel that you can handle the responsibility of a firearm. Smart firearm carriers, they feel like their firearm is a tool to make themselves feel more safe when they go outside and the people around them that they care about.
Yes.
So just to sum everything up, I feel like what people really need to feel, especially parents, that the person who is in hold of the gun has complete control over it. It's not the guns don't kill people. It's people are the ones who are doing the harm. The gun is just a tool. It has the purpose of shooting a projectile in wherever which way it goes. So remember that remember that rule that's been said for years is guns don't kill people. People do.
Exactly.